Hi, my name is Miles McIntyre. My partners for this project were Ashton Bailey and Gavin Bergman, and we're going to be going over the Iowa liquor sales in 2016. So for our project, we wanted to research which counties in Iowa purchased the most alcohol and what types of alcohol they purchased most. We also examined the relationship between how many liters were sold compared to the amount of bottles sold. Finally, we explored which alcohol was the most popular by determining which alcohol sold most bottles. Now we're going to go to our research abstract. Iowa liquor sales displays the sale of liquor across the state of Iowa in 2016. Within this data set, we are aiming to find the following. Which county had the highest alcohol sales? Which alcohol was the most popular? And investigate how the volume of alcohol affected the amount of bottles sold. We have limited our data to a random sample of about 2 million observations, and we will only be examining the following variables: city, county, category, category name, state bottle cost, bottles sold, state bottle retail, sale in dollars, and volume sold in liters. So now we're going to go over each one of those variables a little deeper. We're going to dive in. So the city, obviously the city where the purchase occurred. The county would be the city that wherever whatever county the city resides in. The category refers to the numerical category of the product sold. Category name is the name of the category of the liquor product. State bottle cost is the cost of bottle for retailers to purchase. Bottles sold refers to the number of units sold. State bottle retail refers to the amount the store sells the bottle of liquor for. Sales in dollars refers to the total price of liquor purchased and sale. Volume sold in liters refers to the amount of liters and alcohol that.
All right, thank you, Miles. I'm Ashton Bailey. I will next be talking about the data exploration. As you can see, this is what we use to read the Iowa data. And next, we're into a summary. All right, so we had to obviously filter the data, and we called that Iowa liquor small. And we selected the variables as followed: the city, the county, the category name, state bottle cost, bottle sold, state bottle retail, and the sale in dollars. And we summarize all this information. And as you can see, these numbers of responses, you may say, that fall under each of the certain variables. Next, we also we showed the each of the variables minimum, their first quartile, their median, their mean, their third quartile, and their max. All these numbers are present here. And we did that for each of our stated variables: state bottle cost, bottle sold, state bottle retail, sale in dollars, and the volume sold in liters. Next, we will be looking at the graphs. First and foremost, we had to tidy our data up, right? We had to clean our data and limit it to the six most populated counties in Iowa because we figured that we would see the most present trends there as opposed to the smaller counties in Iowa. And like it has been stated before, we went from 4 million responses to about 2 million. And we really wanted to organize every variable within our data. So that is what we did here. We organized the names of the counties so they'd all be more uniform and organized. We also did the same thing with the alcohol types. We changed some of the more complicated names, put them into things like vodka or tequila or rum. And the ones that we are unsure about, we put those into other. As I was saying, we reorganized some of the more complex terms into more simpler terms, like under liqueurs, gins, others, vodkas. And we use those to simplify our data and make it easier for us to understand, and also to make our graphs more understandable and easier to view. And first, we look at our alcohol bottle sales per county, Polk being the greatest, followed by Lynn, Blackhawk, uh, Scott, Johnson, and Story. And that analyzed the amount of bottles sold per county. And Polk County has the highest population, so it is no surprise that they have the highest amount of alcohol bottles sold. Next graph, we have the total alcohol sales by the type of alcohol. As you can see on the graph, vodka and whiskey being the greatest, and bourbon and scotch being the smallest. And I think the reason that bourbon and scotch are the smallest is because those are typically more expensive bottles, while vodka and tequila can be cheaper bottles. Next, we're going to look at the linear regression. All right, here's our graph. And for our linear regression model, we compared the amount of bottles sold to the volume of the volume of the liters in each bottle. The model shows that the bottles contain a lower amount of liters, or that contain a lower amount of liters, are purchased less frequently, and that there is a positive trend between bottles sold and the volume of each bottle. In conclusion, when people buy a smaller bottle, they when they want to buy less alcohol, they buy a bottle that contains less liters, and when they want to buy more alcohol, they buy more bottles in a larger quantity. And we believe the reason for this is when individuals buy alcohol, they only want to buy 1 to 2 bottles, but a business, a bar, or another company would like to purchase more bottles.
Hi. All right. Thank you, Ashton. Hi, my name's Gavin Bergman. So I'm going to be doing the cart model. Uh, so due to the limitations of our studio, we ended up uh, having our cart model basically be unreadable. Um, you could either increase the size of it and it wouldn't contain the data, or you could include the data, but it wouldn't be possible to read. So this is basically what we ended up with here. It's hard to see, but if you were going to be able to read it, it would give you the following information. Basically, whiskeys are the most expensive liquor, while vodkas are the cheapest. And the larger bottles end up being the less expensive compared to the smaller per liter, which is pretty self-explanatory there. Then for our conclusion here, in conclusion, we were able to use our studio to create visual graphs and tidy the 12 million alcoholic beverage sales in Iowa to answer basic questions about the data set. We have determined through our analysis of our graphs that Polk County has the highest amount of sales of alcoholic beverages in Iowa, followed by Lynn and Scott counties. And Polk has the highest population out of all the counties in Iowa, which makes sense why Polk has the largest amount of alcohol purchases, because the more people you have, the more alcohol is going to be bought. Um, we also learned what types of alcohol Iowan citizens prefer, and we concluded that vodka and whiskey are the most popular of types of alcohol. Uh, Japanese whiskey and Irish whiskey were placed under the category of whiskey. There were just over 3 million bottles of vodka sold, while there were 2.4 million bottles of whiskey sold. The least bought categories are bourbon and scotch. And in most states, this is the same story. Okay, and can you continue on from what I was saying? Vodka and whiskey are the most affordable compared to bourbon and scotch. This is shown in the cart model, even though it's really hard to see. Bourbon and scotch are typically more expensive, while whiskey and vodka are less expensive. Our linear regression model compared the number of bottles sold to the volume of liters in the bottle. The linear regression model shows that the bottles containing a lower number of liters are purchased less frequently, and that there is a positive trend between bottles sold and the volume of liter in the bottle. So the more the more liters in the bottle, the more likely it is to be sold. Um, in conclusion, when people buy a smaller amount of alcohol, they would buy it in a smaller numbers of liters. Uh, Whereas when people buy alcohol with more liters, they buy it in a larger quantity. The reasoning for this is because individuals only buy 1 to 2 bottles, but businesses and companies purchase more. Also, uh, I mean, it makes sense. If you're buying like a smaller amount, you're going to buy probably less bottles anyways, and in a smaller bottle as compared to if you're buying in bulk to just like store your own home personal bar or something. Or like I said, if it was a business, they're going to buy in bulk, they're going to buy the largest bottles and the most amount. So that makes the most sense there. And our cart model confirmed that per liter, whiskey was the most expensive liquor, while vodkas were the cheapest, and that the bigger bottles ended up being cheaper than the small ones. And that makes the most sense also because per liter cost is going to be cheaper to buy a larger bottle and in bulk than it would be to buy smaller bottles in bulk, which makes pretty good sense. So that's basically our conclusion there. Thank you for watching our video. Have a good day, night.